Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is Tuesday, August 8th at 7 p.m. We are here at the City Council at Olivet City Center at 1140 Dealman Road in Olivet, Missouri, 63132. I'd like to ask our city clerk to do roll call, please.
Mayor Weil,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Present.
Councilmember Clark,
Present.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox.
Yes.
Our next item, we have some swearing in, but before we do that, I would like to welcome tonight our new city manager, Jennifer Yackley. The city council, the staff, and the residents have been anxiously awaiting your first week, and we are so thrilled that it has finally arrived. We look forward to your leadership, your expertise, and your vision as we work together to moving Olivet forward. As many of you know, tomorrow morning is Coffee with the Mayor, and Ms. Yackley will be the guest at that time. I will go more into detail about her bio and the skill set that she brings to our community. So I hope you will join us tomorrow for Coffee with the Mayor, and the coffee will be sponsored by Revo Cup, and other breakfast treats will be available. Ms. Yackley, welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. And I'm excited to be here. I'm on day 2. So please provide a little grace if it doesn't go as planned with the audio visual. So thank you, everybody. It's been nice meeting everybody, and I look forward to meeting people tomorrow morning.
Great. I also feel that I would be remiss if I didn't thank Darren Mann, our fiscal director, who took the additional responsibilities of the interim city manager these past 4.5 months. Mr. Mann's professionalism, attention to detail, and communication kept us focused and will help create a seamless transition. Thank you, Mr. Mann. What's I said we? Okay, I would like to correct myself. I said, I feel I would be remiss. On behalf of the city council, we would be remiss. So thank you. We really appreciate everything you did, Darren. Next item, please.
Item number 2, communications. There are no written communications.
Okay, at this time, we have tonight before us a bunch of swearing in of new officers, as well as some promotions. So I'm going to come down to the podium to do those.
All right.
Prior to each swearing in, we'll share with you a little bit of the bio of the different officers, and then we will call each one up, and they will be sworn in, as well as have their a family member or someone in the city. I believe that Jennifer Yackley, no, Chief Bess, you're going to be pinning one of the officers. Great. Okay. So Andrew Rieger. Andrew comes to can you hear me? Okay. Andrew comes to Olivet Police Department with 3 years of experience from North County Cooperative after graduating from the Law Enforcement Training Institute in Columbia, Missouri in 2019. Prior to becoming a police officer, Andrew completed his Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Missouri in St. Louis in 2018. He is also a United States Navy veteran and served in this capacity from 2010 to 2014. Welcome to Olivet.
Not a problem.
I, Andrew Rieger,
I, Andrew Rieger,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
to serve as police officer for the city of Olivet,
to serve as police officer for the city of Olivet,
St. Louis County, Missouri.
St. Louis County, Missouri,
That I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Missouri
and the state of Missouri
and the charter
and the charter
and ordinances of the city of Olivet.
and ordinances of Olivet,
And that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of this office
the duties of this office
by abiding by
by abiding by
the law enforcement code of ethics.
the law enforcement code of ethics.
I recognize the badge
I recognize the badge
as one of my office
of my office
as a symbol of public faith,
as a symbol of public faith,
and I accept it as a public trust
and I accept it as a public trust
to be held in honor.
to be held in honor.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Officer Andrew, you can come sign your oath. You just sign on the top line. Great.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Next, I'd like to call upon Mark Walker. I don't know if he's going to leave his daddy. Mark Walker was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and stated he always had the desire to help people through times in life when they needed help, a helping hand. This also is one of the reasons he chose to join the United States Marine Corps as a military police officer, where he was deployed to Afghanistan. Mark was later stationed in California, where he met his wife, whom he shares 4 children with, one on the way. Mark and his family returned to St. Louis, at which time he attended the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Academy and served 5 years as a patrol officer in the 4th District. Mark is looking forward to working in Olivet Police Department and believes we have a great team, as well as a great community to serve. He looks forward to getting to know the residents of Olivet. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I, Mark Walker, do solemnly swear
I, Mark Walker, solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
to serve as a police officer
to serve as a police officer
for the city of Olivet, St. Louis, Missouri.
in the city of Olivet in St. Louis, Missouri.
That I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Missouri
and the state of Missouri
and the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinances
of the city of Olivet.
of the city of Olivet.
And that I will faithfully discharge
And I will faithfully discharge
the duties of this office
the duties of this office
by abiding by the law enforcement code of ethics.
by abiding by the
Law
Law.
enforcement.
law enforcement code of ethics.
I recognize the badge of my office
I recognize the badge of this office
as a symbol of public faith,
as a symbol of public faith,
and I accept it as
and I accept it as
a public trust to be held in honor.
a symbol of public trust held with honor.
I'm sorry, I took too long of a patience.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, my son.
They all want to come up and stand by you?
And
Okay. You want to go stand by your dad?
Option, you how many? No, it's fair, so so they trained the real ones.
That's right. I don't know. You heard that, Danny, didn't you?
His jaw's on the floor over there.
You're saying it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So those were our two new officers, and now we're going to be doing a few promotions tonight, which is very exciting. So first, I'm going to call on Patrol Officer Justin, I always butcher this, Dertinger. Okay, they just call him Dirty. Where did he go? Okay. Justin Dertinger. Tonight he's being promoted from a patrol officer to a corporal. Justin Dertinger has been an officer with the city of Olivet since October of 2016. He was born in El Paso, Texas, but was raised in St. Louis area and attended Pattonville High School. Prior to becoming a police officer in Olivet, he attended a college at the University of Central Missouri, where he received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. His responsibilities with the Olivet Police Department included being a field trainer instructor, evidence custodian bicycle patrol officer, and the prescription drug take-back coordinator. In his free time, he enjoys spending time with his wife and daughter. He also enjoys cycling, both road cycling and mountain biking. I, Justin Dertinger,
I, Justin Dertinger,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
to serve as a corporal
to serve as a corporal
for the city of Olivet,
for the city of Olivet,
St. Louis County, Missouri,
St. Louis County, Missouri,
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Missouri,
and the state of Missouri,
and the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinances
of the city of
of the
Olivet,
city of Olivet,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of this office
the duties of this office
by the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
by the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
I recognize the badge of my office
I recognize the badge of my office
as a symbol of public faith,
as a symbol of public faith,
and I accept it as a public trust
and I accept it as a public trust
to be held and honored.
to be held and honored.
Congratulations. Right here. Next, we will be promoting Sergeant Dan McBride to lieutenant. Dan McBride served for 5 years in the Marine Corps, where he deployed to Iraq on a Marine expeditionary unit. After the military, he worked for an engineering company in St. Louis for 5 years before he attended the police academy and joining the Olivet Police Department. He has been with the Olivet Police Department for 11 years, where he has had a successful career and continued his education to earn an MBA and a master's degree in human resources. Lieutenant McBride is supported by his wife Karen and 2 sons, Nicholas and Tyler. He enjoys watching his boys play sports, camping, and going to the beach. And he didn't like it. Oh, okay. I, Dan McBride,
I, Dan McBride,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
to serve as lieutenant
to serve as lieutenant
for the city of Olivet,
for the city of Olivet,
St. Louis County, Missouri.
St. Louis County, Missouri,
That I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri
and the state of Missouri
and the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinances
of the city of Olivet.
of the city of Olivet,
And that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of this office
the duties of this office
by abiding
by abiding
by the law enforcement code of ethics.
by the law enforcement code of ethics.
I recognize the badge
I recognize the badge
of my office
of my office
as a symbol of public faith,
as a symbol of public faith,
and I accept it
and I accept it
as a public trust
as a public trust
to be held and honored.
to be held and honored. Thank you. Thank you.
His younger son is going to pin his badge. And I hope we will get a picture. A family pic.
We borrow, baby.
Sorry. Sure. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Part of your commitment to continued education as well.
Next is Kyle Lyon, patrol officer who is being promoted to lieutenant. What? Well, it says lieutenant. Oops, oops. Okay, my apologies. Look what what you have to look forward to. Okay, patrol officer Kyle Lyon tonight is being promoted to corporal. And Kyle received his bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Quincy University and entered St. Louis City Police Academy upon graduation. Corporal Lyon spent 6 years with St. Louis Metro Police Department prior to coming to the Olivet Police Department. He's married to his wife Marie, whom he shares his daughter Mirella with, and Corporal Lyon and Marie are also expecting their second, a boy, this year. So, please come forward.
I'll sign the lieutenant one.
You'll sign the lieutenant one? I thought so. I, Kyle Lyon, do solemnly swear
I, Kyle Lyon, do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
to serve as corporal for the city of Olivet,
to serve as corporal for the city of Olivet,
St. Louis, Missouri,
St. Louis, Missouri,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the state of Missouri,
the state of Missouri,
and the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinances
of the city of Olivet,
of the city of Olivet.
and that I will faithfully discharge
And I will faithfully discharge
the duties of this office
the duties of this office
by abiding by the law enforcement code of ethics.
by abiding by the law enforcement code of ethics.
I recognize the badge of my office
I recognize the badge in my office
as a symbol of public faith,
as a symbol of public faith,
and I accept it as a public trust
and I accept it as a public trust
to be held and honored.
to be held and honored.
Congratulations.
And I think you're one of the few officers I've had the honor of promoting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
It's
very
very-
cool. Well, thank you.
Congratulations. And I believe his wife and daughter, oh, Morella is going to pin him. Don't skip him too hard. I'd like to take a moment to invite the chief and the major and all of the officers here tonight to come forward for a picture. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Jennifer, I'll sign these afterward. What did you? Okay, moving right along, we are going to go to item number 3.
Item number 3, city managers report.
Good. I will, with Jennifer just starting, I went ahead and we completed this. I'll do this one. This will be my last one here. But I'll get started. First, we have our update for the 5 Oaks on Worcester and the Worcester Park project itself. You can see substantial completion dates have passed on the project schedule itself. The financial summary in the lower left tile there. The current contract is just below 12 million, and that coincides a little bit with our contingency and allowances in the next panel over to show that our remaining contingencies under or we're over budget with contingencies by about $350,000. If we remember, that's been offset with some insurance proceeds at the old community center and then interest earnings. So we're still above water, but it's holding on for dear life there. Good news is we are nearing the end of the contract. We can see in the panel over the second one from the bottom right, 93% complete per construction schedule as of the end of July. The GRG trail is significantly complete, finishing up inside. The lower left, I'll point our attention, will remain on that same panel and look at our MBE and WBE participation. And it does remain just a hair above on the MBE participation goal of 12.5%, and then 2% above on the WBE participation goal of 15%. Now I'll direct your attention back to the lower left panel, and we can see the anticipated contract modification side, the PCOs, which stands for potential change orders. Those are the ones that are outstanding as of today. And if we were to notice from the one last month, we've a lot of those have been eliminated either because of timing, negotiation, or just kind of clarification of what the issue actually was that generated the potential change order itself. We do have some of those that are outstanding, and some have significant costs, some have not. We're still working through those as we come to the end of the project itself. We're anticipating starting to move in some of the owner furniture items, like owner supplied items like furniture, the fitness equipment, and other like networking equipment, as well as the AV equipment in the next several weeks. Anticipated move for the employees to come in is pushed back from maybe in a couple weeks or around this time next week was the original plan, to now maybe beginning to middle of September. So we have had some issues that have come up and delayed us ever so slightly. But we want to make sure we have a safe building, a complete building. We're not slowing anybody down any further, and that we have a good functioning building. So remain patient as we enter the last stretches of this project. If we go to the next slide, you can see this really is coming together on some of the items. This is in the fitness room, so the front door would be behind us, quite a bit behind us. But this is some of the metal ceilings that we look into the bigger windows. In front of us, in a couple weeks, we would see treadmills, power mills, some TVs right in front of us. To the left, you'd see dumbbells. And then to the right, we'll see a big CrossFit apparatus. Next slide. This is in the multi-purpose room, and this slide, or this picture, is from yesterday, and you can see there's a little ways to go before we get anywhere close to kind of moving in. But I wanted to show the wood ceilings that are in at the top here, and then the light fixtures it's a really nice looking building. Next slide then shows us in the lobby. In the lower right of this picture is the front door. We would have been roughly standing behind us in the first picture, but this is the changing suites then are to our left, and then it's good lights and an ode to the lights we have out here in the lobby at the city center. That would conclude I think the pictures of the community center, and from here we'll go off to the next slide into the Gateway I-170 TIF project, the Olive Crossing project. I'll remind everyone that anything in green is new, and there is no green, so there is nothing, no updates from last month here. If we go to the next slide in lot 3, again, nothing there. This is the Paris Baguette intended to be lot 3, and it's still awaiting comments to building permit for that submittal. Again, this is the same as last month. There was a little I understand a little clarification on what we needed in order to actually make comments, and so now we're in the process of comments being made from our planning and building department. So if we move on then to lot 4, there was no update from the provided PowerPoint. Anticipated substantial completion to the end of July 23. I think that was nearly met, and if we were to, I know that some people moved in there over the last weekend, and so this would substantial completion has definitely been met, and there's occupancy there. So and the lot next is lots 1 and 2, and that is the lots intended here. That would be the council actions from the July 25th meeting made way for this, is where the Aldi would be proposed or be allowed to be proposed here. Nothing has been submitted to the Planning Commission nor the Building Department for approval there, but just to kind of put reference to some of the other work we've done. Next lot is number 5, and this is office. There was an update here. It's again in green. The multiple proposals are out to the prospective tenants, awaiting response. So that would be again with office, the office tenants. Nothing really to update there. And then final slide was be in lot 6, the hotel. The design change has been approved by Marriott, and it's awaiting documentation from the corporate office there about what it would officially be. So I think we here, if anybody's been following this, we would be owed a little bit of a what kind of change has been approved and proposed. So stay tuned for that. From there, we'll go on to some upcoming events. All of these items are on the city website, so if you have any curiosity and you need to look, there's links there on how to more information on them. As the mayor noted, coffee with the mayor is tomorrow morning at 8:45 here at the city center. Our guest is the new city manager, Jennifer Yackley. And we're gonna, it's sponsored in part by Revo Cup and be providing coffee. Hope to see a really good crowd. We better get to bed now, though, if we're gonna make it by 8:45. The other things that are on the website, feel free to click and find out anything about them and to sign up as the 4th annual Battle of the Badges, September 7th, and then the community-wide garage sale is September 9th and 10th.
You might want to mention what Battle of the Badges is.
Sure, I didn't know. Okay. Yep. Battle of the Badges it's the 4th annual event we've had. It's pits the fire department versus the police department and who can gather the most units of blood. And the loser usually has to cook a breakfast or clean policemen have to clean the fire truck, or firemen have to clean the police vehicles, or cook some breakfast or something like that. You know, I'm not sure, nobody's here. I don't think the police has ever won. So I may be wrong, but I've seen the fire truck cleaned a lot more times than I've in any case, that's the Battle Badge. So thank you for pointing that out. It's a really good event. Sign up through the Red Cross. It's right here at the city center. It's a really good event and well attended. So community-wide garage sale also very well attended. Again, all the information you have there to be put on the map, to get your yard signs, all that kind of information is on the city website, allavetmo.com. And then of course the registration went live on August 1st for the 10th annual turkey trot, and there is a 10th annual vest that is available, and work is underway to make that a great event. Let's go to the next slide, and we have some news around town. On Oliver and Chantel Lanes, the paving commenced, and I think it's completed today, if I'm understood. Good. And then remind everyone that this is the leveraging of funds from Missouri American Water to repave the entire width. I brought 2 pictures here. One is a full, obviously a full width repaving of asphalt that looks really nice. And then on the right is what we would have got on the one side there of just where the water main replacement was. And thanks to Bruce McGregor for leveraging those funds and kind of recognizing the situation. Now, I will say this picture is on here. One, it's a really good example, but it's also the asphalt on the right is around 3 years old. And so we chose not to repave that because it is so new and should be expected to last a long time. And it's also a really good example of what pavement will look like in a couple of years. So it's this was intentional. And this the picture on the left will look a lot like the asphalt on the right in just in no time at all. That's the natural paving or natural coloring or discoloration, however you want to see the aging of the pavement itself. So thank you for Bruce for giving that picture as a good example of why we do things, and hopefully it not much intentional, or sorry, it is intentional. Let's go to the next slide. And some other news around town. Event and membership sales are open for Five Oaks on Warson. You can see our yearly membership rates there and the hourly rental rates. The membership won't start till the building's open, so don't worry about getting not getting a month's worth out of that annual membership. So look more for that, but that is available on allavetparksandrec.com. The membership rates. I'm sorry, you have to come here to do the memberships. Yes, there's a lot of information online now. Let's go to the next page and we'll just see our upcoming meetings. I won't belabor you with much there. The only outside of a meeting, outside of normal times or irregular meeting is that housing authority meeting there at noon on the 22nd. So more than happy to answer any questions. And we do have a new city manager here that is hoping to get a lot of questions.
Are there any questions from the council members? Thank you. Next item.
Item number 4, city council reports.
I will begin on my right with Councilmember Knox,
Mayor, I have nothing to report.
Chairman Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As usual, Mr. Trejo always gives every city council member and every employee of the city a wonderful report of the last PCDC meeting, so I won't be rated. On this list, it is noted that we have our next meeting, I think, on the 17th. And I'm excited for the city. We have another planner. Welcome, City Manager Jennifer Yackley. I love planners. So, so with that, I will let you go and go to the next person, and you can read the report online.
We also want to welcome Jack, and I don't know your last name. Cardwell? Carswell, who joined our planning and design team.
Come on up, Jack.
2 weeks ago or just a week ago? 2 weeks ago.
Come up and have him come up and introduce himself.
That's what, press this blue button right there. Good.
Hello, it's so nice to meet all of you and I'm excited to get started with the city of Olivet.
So he's jumped in with 2 feet as well, so it's very exciting. And Dawn was here, but she already headed out. Next item,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Councilmember Carl.
I didn't hear my name. That's what told Sydney. Anyway, I have nothing to report. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Clark.
Mr. Carswell, welcome. Don't feel bad about people not knowing your name. They just got mine recently. So welcome aboard.
Next item,
Wait.
Item 5, hearing from citizens.
so when we do hearing from citizens, it's an opportunity for people to address the council. We don't respond. There is a place on the card to put if you want to receive an email or a phone call and as a response. But it is really for us to hear your concerns about the city or feedback, positive or negative. And if anyone either in the room or in Zoom land would like to speak, if you're in Zoom land, you just have to put a hand up on the screen. And if anyone's here that would like to speak, please let me know. Nobody here in Zoom, no hands. So we will move forward. Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 6, Bill 3010, an ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission cost share agreement for certain Olive Boulevard intersection improvements. Second reading.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, new City Manager Yackley. I'd be happy to revisit any details of the application of the project. If anybody had any questions arise, since I feel like we were just here 2 weeks ago talking about this, if anything's come up.
Are there any questions on any council members? Okay. Do you want to hit a couple of the highlights for those listening in?
Sure. So first off, this is our first cost share project with the state of Missouri. So we're very excited about this. Just to give a bit of history, one of the intersections included in the project, the one at North Price by CVS, was originally identified when the I-170 bridge was reconstructed back in 2006, 7, 8, in those years, but they were unable to come up with funding to do the intersection improvements at that time. So we've identified through our traffic study of the Northeast Quadrant and numerous observations by staff and comments from residents that improvements are really needed at that intersection, and with all the activity going on at the southeast corner of Northeast of Price and Olive. The additional intersection is the next one to the west at Dealman Industrial, where we've also identified through the traffic study and through observations a shortcoming in turning opportunities, and that's going to be a lane widening to add a dedicated right turn lane onto Olive Boulevard. Both of these intersections will require right-of-way negotiations and one parcel completely to be acquired, and that is at the northwest corner of Price and Olive Boulevard.
Are there any other questions?
And in addition to funding, we're getting funding from our capital improvement budget, from the Opus development, that's going in. That's their contribution for traffic improvements associated with the apartment building and this MoDOT cost share. So,
If there are no more questions, I'd be happy to entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we approve Bill 3010, an ordinance authorizing the city of Olivet to enter into a cost-sharing agreement with Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for Olivet Boulevard intersection improvements at North Price and Beelman Industrial.
Second.
Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Yes.
Mayor Weil.
Yes.
The motion is passed by action of the Olivet City Council. Bill 3010 becomes ordinance 2780.
thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 7, resolution 2023-242, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute and enter into a release and quit claim of railroad easement pertaining to North Price Road and to take all actions necessary or desirable related to same.
Mayor, for a second there, I thought Carlos was going to take this. I was very excited.
So did I. So did I.
He's just moving the agenda along.
All right. This is the second. This is a great progression towards something the city's been working toward for a long time. Unfortunately, it's a very complicated history, and I will try to explain that. Hopefully, it'll make sense to everyone. Price Road has been there for a long time, and it has been used by the public for a long time. But Price Road, the dirt beneath Price Road, part of it is owned by private parties in the form of actually owning the real estate or owning an easement in the real estate. And that created a conflict with cities' regulation and maintenance of Price Road. Although we've done both over the years, there's always been this uncertainty about whether Price Road can be legally called a public road. And that has been something that's been going on for years. The other aspect of this is the Union Pacific Railroad, which owns part of Price Road, has easements in part of Price Road, and now thankfully is engaged in negotiations with Great Rivers Greenway to sell the railroad, the old railroad right-of-way that underlies part of Price Road and underlies part of the Public Works facility. Great Rivers Greenway came in and a few years ago and started talking with the UP, the Union Pacific, about buying them out. The city started those conversations 18 years ago. It was just a year or two after I had joined the city. And we were unsuccessful. But the Great Rivers Greenway has been successful, and they have a deal in principle, and we're trying to work toward a situation where, if this happens, and we expect it to happen, I don't mean to inject any uncertainty, but when this happens, the city can do its part to ensure that this closing takes place between the Union Pacific and Great Rivers Greenway. And that entails the Union Pacific transferring its interest in the road to Great Rivers Greenway, the interest that it owns, and asking the city to release their easement that they have over part of Price Road that sits in front of the Public Works facility. That's what the resolution is all about. So that's what the resolution is designed to achieve. The other aspect about the resolution is that, as the council knows, several years ago, 3-4 years ago, we had a development off of Price Road, the apartment building that used to be called Opus. I do not know what it's called now.
Balboa.
Sorry?
Balboa.
Balboa. And they were very interested in doing this development and in accessing Price Road as part of the development. And they insisted that the city somehow assure them that Price Road was a public road because of all these conflicting underlying property interests. So the city sued all of the property owners, and all of whom agreed with us and said, yes, that's fine. They consented to a judgment. The Union Pacific would not do that, of course. But now that they have this deal with GRG, once that closing takes place, GRG, the Union Pacific will be dismissed from the lawsuit. GRG will be added to the lawsuit, and then GRG will also consent to that judgment. And we will have a conclusion, a legal conclusion by a judge declaring that Price Road is in fact a public road. So all of this is tied together, but the resolution tonight authorizes the city manager to execute that release of easement with the Union Pacific at the time that, at or near the time the closing takes place. They still have a little bit of work to do with the agreement. They still have to get the approval of the United States Surface Transportation Board in Washington, DC. That is in the works. As I said, everybody expects this to get done. And the resolution will allow the city manager to exercise her judgment and to execute the release of the easement when the time comes. So that's where we are. It looks like we're finally going to have a public road, and the UP is finally going to be out of here.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Chairman Pro Tem?
Mr. Martin, it's been a long time coming.
It
really
has.
And actually, it goes back to Scott Smith days before you too. Do we have any idea of the time frame between the here and the now and when everything will be wrapped up with GRG and UP?
I've not talked to anybody about a time frame. It can take several months with the Surface Transportation Board, but I would guess that it is going to be done within a year.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? And I'd be happy to entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we approve a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute and enter into a release and quit claim of railroad easement pertaining to North Price Road and to take all actions necessary or desirable relating to same.
Second.
Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Yes,
Mayor Weil.
Yes. Next item, please.
Item number 8, Bill 3011, an ordinance authorizing a special permit to 9514 Olive LLC to operate an 8,010 square foot brew pub, including production facilities and restaurant, to be known as and operated by Great Heart Brewing Company on the property grounds addressed as 9514 Olive Boulevard, Zone CC, City Center District. First reading.
Good evening, Mr. Trejo.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Carlos Trejo, and I am the Director of Planning and Community Development with the City of Olivet. And tonight before you is the first reading for Bill 3011, which is to allow for a brew pub at the Plant Haven Commercial Center at 9514 Olive Boulevard. We will have a scheduled public hearing on August 22nd. In there, I'd be glad to answer any commission or council questions regarding the bill. We do have representatives, the operators, John and Helena Valentine, along with architect with V3 Studios in attendance. And Mayor, after that, I'd be glad to, we're excited to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from other city council members? Okay, we'll have a second reading. Oh, did you?
No, I'll say it for next one.
Okay, we'll have a second reading at our next meeting on August 22nd.
August 22nd, yes,
Right,
ma'am.
thank you. Look forward to
Thank
seeing you again then. We're excited about this project. Next item, please.
Item number 9.
I wasn't sure which one of them.
Item number 9, Bill 3012, an ordinance authorizing a special permit to PPM Bauer LLC to operate an indoor consignment car sales business not to exceed 27,858 square feet, to be known as and operated by RP Exotics on the property grounds addressed as 10401 Bauer Boulevard, tenant spaces D, E, and F, zoned LID Light Industrial District, first reading.
Good evening again.
Good evening, Mayor. Again, my name is Carlos Trejo. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development for the City of Olivet. And tonight before you is the reading for first reading for Bill number 3012. And that is to grant a special permit authorization to PPM Bauer LLC to operate a consignment car sales business, meaning that the operations primarily take place online and the transactions or the holdings of the vehicles are at the site that would be at 10401 Bauer. The property is zoned light industrial and it is similar to many of the uses within the industrial district. I will go over through a public hearing on August 22nd. And there I do have representative with the property owners of PPM Bauer in attendance, Mr. Corbin, and I believe there are members of RP Exotics also online via Zoom. But Mayor, at this point, if there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer those.
Okay. Are there any questions? Okay. What? I believe that Chairman Pro Tem has one for
Mr. Mann.
For Mr. Mann.
And perhaps Mr. Trejo, with this business, what is the revenue that comes to the city from this business? Is it just the property tax? What? They're selling vehicles online.
If my understanding is a consignment, car dealers don't pay sales tax.
Mhm.
It's the final buyer, the address of the final buyer is where the sales tax is paid.
Okay, so if a vehicle is purchased for somebody in Jersey, the sales tax goes to Jersey. I shouldn't use Jersey as an example. But that sales tax would not come to us because that business is in our community.
Right, they look at it more like a marketplace.
Okay.
And a place to, a common place to come in, and a lot like a dealer, but it's consigned. So my understanding is they would make their money on the commission of similar to even like what a Purple Wave does. It's an online portal, platform.
Okay.
For the cars.
So my understanding is that the situation will not change from the businesses that Mr. Holtzman has had in our community thus far.
Correct.
in that building.
And this, yes, the properties in no way are marketed to be retail.
Right.
Or so. We do have some businesses that do have business to business sales, but a majority are service or personal service oriented.
Okay. We'll look forward to our second reading on August 22nd.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, next item, please.
Item number 10, Stacy Park Bio Retention Basin Repair.
I anticipate we're gonna have Beverly running here in any second. But I'll give a background on why we're here today, and that is on middle of July. Shortly after the power was restored to a lot of the houses near Stacy Park, a water main break occurred at the corner of, or the three-way stop sign near the school. And when that happened, the water had to go somewhere, and it found its way toward our brand new bioretention basin at Stacy Park. And with that, repairs we made, the road's not quite repaired yet, and neither is bioretention basin. Maybe wouldn't notice it so much, but it did cause pretty significant damage to it. The original installer is Land Design, and in a similar fashion to how we were able to take away the repairs to the roads from Missouri American Water, we were also able to kind of take away the repairs to this bioretention basin with our selected vendor under our selected terms. And I'll hand it over to Beverly from there.
Well, good evening, Mayor, council members. I apologize. We went so fast. That's amazing. Thank you very much to Darren for introducing this. How far were you?
Oh, sorry, we went through the background of how we got here.
How we got here?
Now
Great.
we're ready for any good pictures that you might have.
Okay, we have excellent pictures to kind of give you an understanding. So our bioretention basin you're all familiar with was completed as part of the improvements to Stacy Park from Prop C. I ran here, sorry. And it was doing a really good job. That second picture there is from that incredible rainstorm we had shortly after it was completed. So that's how it functions, and that's kind of the maximum capacity of that. And there's an aerial view of it after it had drained from that first storm. So if we go to the next page, so here you can see exactly what happened. So the first picture with the number 1 on it, that's the actual break that happened. That's the rupture of the water line. It was a 30-inch water line. And we heard from the police officers that when they came upon the scene right after this, there was over a foot of water all the way across the roadway and just continuously flowing. So it was an incredible amount of water, and they discovered it at night before midnight, but it wasn't turned off until the early morning hours. So there was a considerable amount of water. So that second picture there shows what happened when you have this huge mass of water that flowed over, sort of like overflowing a bathtub. So that immediate impact, it collapsed the walls on the side, and then it put a lot of silt and mud and clay down into the special bioengineered soils that allow the bioretention basin to work. Then 3, because so much water went in and it went all the way over the top and into the Stacy Park parking lot on the other side, when the water subsided, it took out all of the, it caused this incredible erosion next to the rock cascade. So the rock cascade is there to slow down water from the Stacy parking lot as it flows in there, because when the water moves fast, it really erodes a lot more. So 4 gives you a close-up look at how the soil was eroded away from all the young trees and plants. So the trees and plants also have to be taken out and put back in, and that really adds to the cost. So some of the plants will be able to replant in other areas, but due to the time it takes for when they excavate, they can't save them, so new trees will have to go in. And some of these trees probably have had their roots exposed a little bit too long to the hot sun. The bottom picture, number 5, is fascinating because it shows the bathtub ring. So the water completely flowed, it completely filled the bioretention basin, and as I said, went up into the parking lot. So that debris line, that black line there, shows you as the water started to recede, it sort of left that bathtub ring. So it must have been quite impressive to see that much water in there during the event. But kudos to Missouri American Water. They got it capped, and they got the roadway temporarily repaired within about 2 days. And you know, it was a tough time because the water was off in these neighborhoods where often several people also had their power still out from the big storm. So it was quite a catastrophe in there for that neighborhood. So they've done a really good job of getting us back to be able to use those roadways. So due to the cost and complexity of this project, Missouri American Water recognized that it really needs to be a specialized landscaper that does these repairs. It is quite costly. So they chose to give us the funds for the city to manage the project and have it done correctly rather than them trying to manage it. So fortunately, the company that installed it is willing to do the work and has given us the quote. With the approval of the council, the city manager would enter into a contract with Land Design, would accept the money from Missouri American Water, and we would get this construction going in the fall. Again, planting these plants, it's important that we do it when the heat of the summer is over. If we can do it in October, November, we don't have a solid date yet. The contractor has to fit us into their current projects, but then we anticipate that we can get it done before the turkey trot, which would be really nice to get it done before that. And then by planting them in the fall, they only need to be watered once, and then they can get established, and then in the spring be ready to go. So it requires a lot less maintenance from us to keep them alive. Over the winter, they go dormant. We don't have to water them. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions at this one?
And in this unit that you build, is it consistent standing water, or is it just when it's heavy rain, it's just water, then it just kind of dissipates into the soil.
Yes, so what this does, these bioretention basins, because we have this really large one at Stacy, but we now have them in all of our parks and the new community center. What they do is they eliminate some of the water that goes into the storm drains by capturing it and allowing it to percolate through the soils. And then if it reaches a certain level, it will then flow into the storm drains. But it's called a bioretention basin because it's doing that biologically and allowing the water to filter through. But it's also part of our stormwater mitigation, meaning that it is reducing the amount of water that's flowing off of our non-permeable surfaces. So reducing how much water goes into the storm drain and then goes down river and causes problems in other communities. So it's required by the by MSD, but it's actually a good stewardship. So and that is also something that Deer Creek Alliance is working on to help homeowners be able to do it on their own property through grant funding, because in residential homes, you can do something similar called a rain garden. So a lot of people are putting in rain gardens. Same thing, reduce the amount of runoff from your property to your neighbors and then to the storm drain.
So they put like cattails in there?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. Cattails are great.
Okay.
We have a lot of swamp milkweed in there right now that's actually coming into bloom. So we think we have a lot of caterpillars in there, monarch caterpillars. So another reason it's nice to hold off doing that work.
Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Sorry, I just wanted to actually make a comment to Sydney's comment, which is to say that these stormwater mitigation measures are something we do in new residential homes too. We don't necessarily require you to put in a rain garden, but you have to put in some kind of water detention for the increased hardscape surfaces you're creating on the lot. So this is just one mechanism to do it, and we do this for residential houses too.
Yes.
Okay. And I happen to be doing the rain garden as opposed to one of these other things, so. Yeah.
Chairman Pro Tem?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just have a question with regard to the current functionability of the bioretention holding water. So you showed us the picture of the pool and we've got damage. Is the bioretention pond now, even though there's a lot of the land damage, able to hold that amount of water that was in that first picture and slowly be able to drain that off? Is that damaged?
Yeah, it will still function the way it is right now, not as efficiently, and it could cause a lot more of the other soil to wash in if we like the storm that's coming tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. It'll still work, not as efficiently. And if we didn't repair it long-term, we would have serious problems.
When we repair it, will it work as efficiently as it worked before it got damaged?
It absolutely will.
Okay, thank you.
Water still goes downhill.
But it can be clogged.
And
It absolutely can.
And then my last question is, they did damage to the curb and to the street. Is that something that Mr. McGregor is dealing with, or that he's nodding over there?
Yeah, Mr. McGregor's dealing with that, and some of that they'll do on their own, and some, Bruce actually is a very good steward of our sidewalks and roads and puts, I shouldn't say pressure, but he does work with them and encourages them to complete it in a timely manner in the most
Especially-
efficient
yeah.
way. Is that a
Especially
good
we
way of saying it.
We got
Yes.
school starting up and
Yes,
they damaged our beautiful new sidewalks in a couple weeks.
there's temporary asphalt there for the sidewalk, so at least it's passable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the acceptance of the Missouri American Water Bioretention Basin Repair Funds and authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Land Design LLC to complete the repairs in an amount not to exceed $45,216.79.
Second,
Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox.
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Yes.
Mayor Weil.
Yes,
Motion is passed.
thank you. Next
Thank you
item.
very much.
Thank you.
Item 11, hearing from citizens, part 2.
Okay, is there anyone else that would like to speak tonight, whether you're in Zoom or in the room? Okay, We'll move right along. Next item.
Item number 12, review and approval of minutes.
Okay, since no one saw any errors or changes, is there, would someone like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from work session August 1st, 2003 and council meeting July 25th, 2003 as written.
I will go to 2023 and
Oh,
I
I'm
will
sorry.
second that.
Yes.
Although I was here in 2003.
I think I said
Okay.
2003 and you know.
Yeah.
Okay, I lost 20 years, don't worry.
Okay.
I feel better though.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Knox.
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Yes,
Mayor Weil.
Yes,
Motion is passed.
thank you. Next item, please.
Item 13, city attorney's report.
Mayor, no report, no need for a closed session this evening.
Oh.
Okay. I'll be happy to enter. Okay.
I understand you read all the titles of everything.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
We're adjourned.